guys, it's Jennifer with DP Addiction Adventures. And before anyone gives me a thumbs down for my not so amazing video shot, I am in Washington, D.C. on a work trip. And so I brought along my wonderful crystal kimono china doll, or Japanese doll, I guess. And so yeah, I just thought, hey, I finished my conference today, I had dinner, and I thought I would do some diamond painting. Now, I, as you can see, have some that's already done, and I did do this a little bit last night, and then a little bit this afternoon. So it is, I want to say it's like 9:30, maybe? No, 10 o'clock. Sorry, there's no clock nearby. And 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm super excited that tonight is daylight savings fall back an hour, so I'll be able to have an extra hour's sleep. So yeah, this is just going to be a mini drill with me, basically until I'm done with, I don't know, I'm tired or something. Who knows? So, the reason I'm in Washington, D.C., I'm from, the west side of Michigan, is, as if you're familiar, I am a therapist. I work with the refugee community, and they were having a Physicians for Human Rights training on writing mental health and medical affidavits. And I do write reports, not necessarily an affidavit yet, but the concept of affidavit. I didn't call it an affidavit because I wasn't fully trained yet. So now I am trained, and I will now be able to write full reports instead of 4 pages. They're anywhere, from 10 to plus pages. So yeah, that's what I was doing here. Because I work for a nonprofit, was trying to help save money. So I got a flight out at 5:30 in the morning Friday. So I was out of bed at 2:30, in my car by 3, and at the airport by 3:30 in order to take the 5:30 flight. What the airport says is that you need to be there 2 hours ahead of time right now because of some of the extra security things they have going on currently. So I was there 2 hours early, but what they didn't say is that at our airport, the airport desk did not open until 4 a.m. So I could have had an extra half-hour sleep, but who's counting, right? Well, I am, because I love me my sleep. I do. Yeah, so I ended up getting in by about 10:30 by the time I got, to the hotel shuttle and to the hotel, and sat down and took my shoes off. I ended up taking a nap, which was great. And then I had most of the afternoon to do some sightseeing. Now, my family came to Washington, D.C., not summer of 18, but summer of 17. And so, hold on a sec, I'm trying to think at the same time as I'm talking, and that doesn't work a lot. So we were here for a full 7 days and did a lot of your normal sightseeing. So because we had my 10-year-old daughter with us, we didn't go see the Holocaust Museum, and that is something I wanted to see. I've done, I'm not Jewish, but I just really love history, and because I work with the refugee community, and my heart goes out. I read Hiding Place by Corrie ten Boom in 7th grade, and since then I've just really had a respect for the generation that was lost, and so I wanted to go and pay my respects, and I wanted to learn a little bit more about that time period. And so they even have a under 8 area, because they do recommend based on the content and age limit. They don't enforce it, but they recommend it. And so they have a youth display that parents can take their kids through. So I thought that was kind of cool to explain what happened at their level. But yeah, I went through it, spent about 3 hours going through. It was interesting. There were a lot of, it looked like upper middle school, high school, like lower high school, maybe, 7th through 10th graders there on school trips. So it was interesting to see their perspective. I think some of them got it, and I think some of them, it was just over their head. It was just another school trip. So that was interesting to see. So I did that, and then I took a walk over to the Washington Monument because it's right there, and took a couple pictures, but it then started pouring down rain. So I ran over to there's a museum right there, the African American Smithsonian Museum, and stood under there. And of course, because it was 5:30, the Uber prices were about 1/3 higher than they were before, and then because it started raining, they were twice as high. So instead of $8, it was like $19. It was crazy. And so they have this option. I don't know how many people have used Uber, but since the last time I used it, they added this option, and it's called Pool, Pool. And basically it's a 1 to 5 minute walk to a pickup area. Instead of picking you up in front of right where you want to be picked up, they pick you up at a really easy corner. And so the funny thing is, though, is they told me like Madison and US 1 or 1 US, and that's right on the corner of the Smithsonian that I was at. However, none of the signs had 1 US. It was all like the names of the roads, but they were like full names. I can't remember what they were. So I was walking up and down in the pouring rain without an umbrella. I had a jacket because I didn't want to miss the Uber, because they charge you after a couple minutes of waiting. I think it's 2 minutes. They charge you X amount of money per minute that they have to wait. Plus, it's an extremely busy section, so there's nowhere to wait. Basically, it was going to be a pull up and me dive in type of situation. And so I'm watching the Uber map and seeing this car getting closer and closer and closer. And it has this little map that shows me in the direction I'm walking. However, my phone decided to freeze on me. And so I didn't know east, west, north, south. The little guy wasn't moving to show me which direction I needed to move. I'm like, holy cow. Meanwhile, there's another Uber driver that's like half a block away, who's honking and different things like that. And these security guards, because the Smithsonian had just closed, were all standing out watching people, because they didn't have to let people in the building anymore. They're like, hey, that's your Uber down there. And I'm looking at my map, and It's saying, he's still 5 minutes away, but yet I don't know if it's frozen. I don't know if it's moving because of the traffic. I was just like, and I get lost going home from work every day. That's a joke, but I'm the most directionally challenged person you'll meet. And so I'm like, okay, stay calm. You're an adult. You can add 2 + 2 together. You'll figure this out. It's okay. So then my phone decided to unfreeze at that moment and show that I had been walking in the wrong direction. So I quick turned around, walked in the other direction, found the corner I was supposed to stand at. He drove up within like a minute, and I jumped in. So crisis averted, right? So there's somebody in the back seat. I jump in the front seat. Now with the pool, he basically has a right to drop you off within a certain range of the location that you want. And so we get to the neighborhood that my hotel's in, and he goes to pull over at the intersection for the woman behind me, or who's sitting in the back seat, and she's like, you should have dropped me off back at that intersection. And he's like, why didn't you speak up? And she's like, well, normally they drop me off back there. And he's like, well, why didn't you speak up? Like, this is what the app is telling me. You need to speak up so I know what you're thinking. I mean, he was very polite, but he was also trying to instruct her for next time. And she was not having it. She's just like, now I'm really far from where I need to be. And of course it was raining, so I'm sure that's why she was upset too. And he's like, well, now I have to go around the block, and there's somebody else in the car, so we're delaying her. And I'm sitting there like, don't open your mouth, just keep your mouth shut. And she's like, why didn't you let me out back? I don't understand. And he's like, do you want to argue about this right now? And meanwhile, he's driving, like he's going around the block. I mean, he's going out of his way to drop her off at the intersection that she missed telling him. And I think she had just had it, and she's just like, just let me out here. So he lets her out, but because of all the one-way streets, he still has to go around the block in order to let me out 2 blocks down the road the other direction. So we go around the block, and I think he just felt sorry for me. Because he's like, do you want me to drop you off down there? And I'm like, no, I'll just get out right here. It's okay. He's like, are you sure? I can take you. It's like 2 doors down. Like, no, it's okay. I'll walk. It is a pool. I don't want you, and the pool price ended up being like $8.50 instead of the $19. And what I didn't take into account was paying attention to the direction that he was pointing with my hotel. Meanwhile, my phone decided to freeze because it was picking up the Wi-Fi of all the hotels in the area, the different lobbies. And so the little map I was trying to figure out which direction I need to head was like spinning in circles. It's like, seriously? It's pouring down rain. I'm in the middle of Washington, D.C. In this neighborhood, I have no idea where I'm at. So, I don't know. It was just an adventure, and I finally got to the hotel. It was not a big deal. I'm just glad, that I had time. I wasn't trying to get anywhere, and that's what was really nice, is it was just a nice afternoon, even with these kind of update stories, that I didn't really have to stress. I mean, I wasn't stressing at all. I just was kind of rolling my eyes and having fun with it, and that was cool because I haven't had a lot of those times lately because my life has been so rush, and so it's just been really nice, even though it's a work trip, to have that little extra time. And then this morning I woke up, had breakfast, again ventured out with the whole Uber thing. And it was at this university, but I guess the university is under a lot of construction. And the university is attached to a hospital. and it was all confusing. We ended up being, in a completely different building in a basement. There was no way I was going to be able to find it, but they did a great job of, on the email saying, if you need any help getting here, please give us a call. And so I called her, and she came and found me in the in the hospital lobby, and we walked back to where the conference room was. So, and I would have never found it, like, never in a million years. Maybe by like 2 p.m. after walking the whole entire hospital. And nobody was at the hospital, like the information center or anything. It just had a sign and a map. And so I was sitting in the lobby right next to the desk, not even at the desk, not even at the waiting. I mean, literally, I was sitting across the room, and people were coming in going, do you know where this room is? Do you know where that room is? I was like, I am from Michigan. I have no idea even where I am in the city, let alone where your patient or your family member's room is. I mean, it just cracks me up. I mean, there's a not huge, but there's like this information desk with the sign above it. This is information, and the like marble top and everything. And there's no sign that says no one's there, but obviously nobody's there. And there's like, validate your parking, go to the emergency room info desk, and different things like that. And I'm sitting like 40 feet away from the desk. And people go up to the desk, nobody's there, they look around the lobby, and then they come over to me. I'm just like, do I look like I know what I'm doing? I mean, I just cracked. I mean, like 4 people did it. It wasn't just like one random person who hadn't had their coffee yet. It was so funny. So I must just look like I know what I'm talking about. Like that self-confidence, which I have no self-confidence at all, right? But I used to train, I was the supervisor over the internship program and for like 10 years. And I used to tell interns, grab a, legal pad or a clipboard and walk around with your head up, and people will think you like own the place, And sure enough, within a week, that's what they were doing. And, just that confidence, it's amazing that people pick up on that body language. So anyway, do you have a funny story that deals with people thinking you know what you're talking about and you don't? Yeah. And then I feel like super unhelpful. Like, why do I feel guilty that I didn't know how to help them find their loved one's, hospital room? Like, what is wrong with me? I am from Michigan and I am sitting there lost myself. Why do I feel guilty that I can't help you find Grandma Jones after her surgery last night? Who knows? Who knows? And I'm the therapist, right? I should be analyzing myself, but I try not to do that because I will then really screw myself up. Exactly. So the kiddo is home with the papa, and I talked to them tonight. I really miss them. I mean, as great as it is to kind of be on my own for a minute or two, I love my fam. I love them a lot, and I miss them. And so yeah, talked to them tonight. My kiddo's sad because I get home. Again, I picked not red eye, but I picked the 6 p.m. flight out of here, so I don't get home till 9:30, 10 o'clock. And so she's like, I'm not even going to see you. So I'll go check in on her, and sometimes I'll try to wake her up and she'll look at me, but it's like sleepwalking, eyes and things, so she doesn't even remember. So I told her I would see her when she was conscious. on Monday morning. And yeah, so let's see, what other updates are there? I'm finally starting to breathe. Last month was, October was insane. I ended up taking a mental health day, as I mentioned, for my daughter's birthday week, so I could help get the party ready and everything. And I don't know, it was crazy busy, and I don't like when it's that busy. Even if it's all good stuff, it still like freaks me out, and my anxiety goes through the roof. My depression kicks in. Like, that's my avoidance. Hey, John, go to sleep. Like, avoid the stress. And then that kicks in the depression of wanting to be in bed all the time. And if I'm not in bed, then I'm, like, cranky because I don't want to deal with the world. And it's really crazy when you're a therapist and you deal with depression, because you just analyze everything. It's kind of like when you're a doctor, you don't go to the doctor. Doctors are their own worst patients, right? If there's any doctors out there and you want to affirm that, it'd be great, Okay, so this is the color. I don't even know if you guys see this, so please don't hate me. It's like a gray meets olive green, I think, something like that. And if you saw my unboxing, which I'll link here somewhere, I don't even know what you're seeing. Let me see if you can see this. I mentioned there were blue stones, and I'm talking blue. See, look at that. That is not olive green. It's kind of like that's such bad lighting. Sorry, guys. Please forgive me. Give me grace. I'm in this hotel room all by myself, missing my fam. So let me see what else I can update you on. Let's see here. I don't have much else to report. I haven't done any drill with me's besides this one for a little while. I've just been so busy, and the time that I am available, I've been trying to take a break and, sit with my husband. I don't have something I can do like on the couch. Most of my diamond paintings are a little bit larger, and so and I had a long talk with my husband a few weeks ago about, hey, like, let's reconnect. So, even when we're watching TV and stuff, I'll diamond paint, but I don't videotape, and I talk with him, and we watch shows, and then I'll go sit with him for a while. And you gotta love your family, right? You can't just ignore them because of this craft. This craft is meant to add to our life, not take away from it. And so I've just really been trying to work on that priority, because when I find something new, I jump in like feet first, fully submerged, jump in. And so I wanted to make sure that I stepped back a little bit and, got reacquainted with my family. Exactly. So I'm really excited, you guys. Our family is expanding. We are over 350 subscribers. That's super exciting. So thank you. I love you all. I love the comments. I love the tips. I love the constructive criticism, definitely, because I can grow from that. I mean, we're a family, and so as long as it's respectful, I definitely welcome it, so that I can get better and so that we can communicate, right? So thank you so much. I have thought a lot about doing the mini-series on marriage projects around the house, and so I'll probably be starting that in the next 2 weeks. The biggest thing is just finding time to video, because I don't like to video with people around. Yep, that's why I flew all the way to Washington, D.C. so I could be alone, so I could make this video. Anyway, sorry, I think being alone is getting to me. So yeah, that is on my radar. I have decided that I'm going to go ahead and do it. So be watching for it. However, it'll probably be a couple weeks, because I need to be able to do it when I feel comfortable and not with a whole bunch of people sitting around me. And it's not that I don't care if they hear it. My daughter watches my videos. I don't think my husband has time to, but he's welcome to. So I just don't like people sitting there listening to me when I'm live, because I get self-conscious. So yeah, so I just need to find some time to do it. So we will see. Usually, I'll let you in on a little secret. Usually, I do my videos Tuesday nights, my long ones, like the Draw With Me's, or anything that's, over 15 minutes, when my husband is out on Tuesday nights. So what I'll do is I'll tuck kiddo in around 8:30. She's allowed to stay up till 9, but just in her room. And then he'll be out till almost 11. And so I'll have from, anywhere from 9 to 11 by the time I get settled in and figure out what I want to do. And that's plenty of time for me to do a video. And then when he gets home and we're together, then I'll be sitting on the couch with him, updating and uploading to get ready. So usually Tuesday nights are the nights that I do videos, but the last month I've just been so exhausted after my daughter's soccer practice that I just come home, make sure she's all taken care of, and then I've been falling into bed around 9 o'clock, and then he gets home around 11 and wakes me up, and he's like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I get up, brush my teeth. Usually I'm fully clothed, so I'll get into my PJs and then fall right back in bed. And that's my boring Tuesday night, where I haven't even felt like diamond painting, just because I had so much other stuff in my life. I've been using my Tuesdays to recoup. So that's the case there. Trying to think of anything else. I don't really have a tag. I'm just going off the top of my head. I do like the tag that, oh my goodness. So there was a tag that somebody did, right? That's pretty detailed, right? A tag that somebody did. I want to say, I'm going to get it wrong. I'm going to totally get it wrong. So I'm just not going to say the name. But there's a tag that one of the YouTubers did that I need to go and find because I really liked it. Oh, I think it was Wendy. Wendy from Gone Off My Meds. Pretty sure that's who it was. See, if I just keep talking, it'll come to me. So yeah. I think that's why I'm a verbal processor. Because the more I talk, the more things come. Which is why these Draw With Me's are kind of all over the place, because I just verbally process live and with you without stopping and pausing and regrouping. So yeah, I will probably look at that tag and do that for my next drill with me. So that's where we're at. So I won't keep you too long because I don't want this to just be boring and all over the place. I'll give you a little update in just a minute. I'll show you where I'm at with this crystal. The crystals I'm really liking. The quality is really on par with what it should be. I just don't know if it's going to turn out like I had hoped. I think there's a couple spots that the computer just didn't pick right. And normally when I ask for a mock-up, the mock-up's pretty dead on, and I can tell if it's going to be, and it's not that it's pixelated. Here, I'll show you. Show you. Ready? You're going to get moved. So hang on. Whee! Okay. So here is the actual picture, right? And see this down here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I guess there is 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4 petals. But this black looks really weird right here. I was trying to figure out if, yeah, it just looks odd. So I don't know. It's looking a little odd to me, but it could just, I don't know. It might be this part that's making it look odd. Like if this, I might remove some of these right here and make this black straight down so that it ends up being kind of like a black circle. And then remove these two so it kind of makes this like a little tiny square, then this is a little square, and then this would be like, I might go back and do a little bit of changing here. Here, you know, like I might go back and put the blacks here so it's solid black straight through here, just so that it feels a little bit more defined, because right now it looks a little screwed up. And I did follow the symbols, so it's not like I misplaced it. And then over here I'm not quite done yet, so I don't know what this is going to look like as far as that's concerned. So I just feel like it actually looked a little bit better with the crystals on it. This part I think is going to turn out pretty good. You know, where her hands and stuff are together. So yeah, but the quality of the crystals, I mean, they're on point. I definitely will order from this person again, but probably not custom. But we'll see. I have a red and purple version of her that's like a slightly different pattern. So maybe that will turn out a little bit better because the greens and the blues won't be as close to these black and grays. Like, let me rephrase that. When the computer probably looked at this, the blue and the black and the gray were probably really close when it was trying to digitize it, where the purples and reds will be more vibrant to be different or stand out. Contrast, that's the word I'm looking for, contrast to the grays and the blacks. So we will see. I mean, this was $10. I'm having fun with it. It's pretty. The crystals are, you know, high quality, short of this blue coming out with this gray. Like you can see the blue one right in there, right? And this is, let me see if it'll focus. It doesn't look like it in here, but it's more of this darker gray, which in person it has a little bit more olive in it. Olive green. You can see kind of the olive green shade there. Instead of charcoal, it's got a green tint to it. So yeah, that's my work in progress. I will probably work on it a little bit more tomorrow. My goal is to, before I leave DC, is to at least finish you know, this part so that there's no sticky, and that it's just smooth straight across, so this stays sealed. And then if this did lift up when I rolled it, it's not super the end of the world because most of the sticky will be covered. So yeah, that's basically it. Yep, just to kind of prove I am in a hotel room. Okay, so that's my proof where I'm at. And I have a king-size bed all to myself, but somehow I stay in my small little area. You know, but that's fun. It's so I'm having a lot of fun. I can't wait to be home and see you guys more. So until we next meet, take care, miss you all, and I'll be back soon.